Hello everyone, my name is Jonathan Hardy, and in today's video I want to be looking at my favorite survey apps to be able to make a little bit of extra side money. And that's exactly what this is. This is side money. In no way or form am I trying to communicate that this is a replacement for a W-2 job. No, you're not going to be retiring on this income. And no, this isn't even a part-time or side gig, really. This is just a little bit of extra money here and there. Think of it as maybe some coffee money or some money to go grab a meal out every once in a while. But that's pretty much where the line is drawn there. A couple things to keep in mind. These are all apps that I currently use and have downloaded on my phone. And they are all apps that I have made some money by using. Of course, the ones that have paid me more I like a little bit more than the ones that haven't. And then also I am an Apple user. And so for those Android users out there, I can't guarantee that all these apps are available on Android devices, but I can't imagine that they wouldn't be. I'd be greatly surprised about that. But no more delay, let's go ahead and jump into it with number 7, or my least favorite on my list.
Number 7.
All right, number 7 on my list is Surveymonkey. Likely, if you've done any research on survey apps, you've probably come across this app. I feel like it's one of the most popular ones out there. It is a traditional survey format, so you fill in the bubble and you move on to the next question. There can sometimes be a lot of questions kind of per survey, so you can kind of get stuck a little bit on them. It does have a $5 minimum that you do have to earn in order to be able to cash out your earnings, and you can use that either towards PayPal or an e-gift card. The app has a 4.5 out of 5 rating on the App Store, which I think is reasonable. Some pros about the app that I like is the volume and availability of surveys. No matter the time of day, whether day or night, there usually are a lot of surveys available to take, which is really fun. So if you find yourself awake at 2 a.m., you probably can find a survey to take. The downside to the app, or the cons, would be the really low payout for the amount of time that you spend on them. It's not uncommon to spend maybe 20 minutes on a survey and get paid 68 cents or something. So as much as I love making a few extra pennies here and there, I have a hard time swallowing giving up 20 minutes of my life for a few cents. So that's definitely a downside for me. And for that reason, I have Surveymonkey at number 7.
Number 6.
All right, number 6 on my list is Google Opinion Rewards. Now again, this is a traditional survey format. You fill in the bubble, you move on to the next question. Generally, there's not more than 3 to 5 or so questions, so they're really fast to complete, which is really nice. The minimum you have to earn in order to be able to cash out your earnings is $2, and it is directly connected to your PayPal. And if I remember right when you hit $2, it'll automatically get sent to your PayPal. You can't bank it up in any way. It just automatically goes to your PayPal, which is cool. You don't have to think about it. It does boast a 4.7 out of 5 on the Apple App Store, which is a good number. Pros I love about the app is how smooth it is. Not surprised, it's Google. I would anticipate a really good product. And also, it's really fast to complete surveys. Usually you're not going to spend more than 1 to 2 minutes to do a quick survey, and you can get paid either 15 cents or 25 cents. So really the time to payout ratio is decent for Google. The con, and I have to first start with a kind of a heads up first, I do not have the app connected to the location on my phone. From what I've heard, if I were able to make that connection, I would likely receive a lot more surveys. But in order to save on data and not having to pay more money to use my phone, I turn the location off because I don't want to get caught paying for more data than I have to. So I go ahead and turn the location off, but then as a result, I don't get that many surveys. In fact, it takes me a long time to get to that $2 mark because I rarely get survey opportunities. So if you were to change it and you're okay with using data and turning on your location, you may find that you get a lot more surveys. And for you, it may be a lot higher than a 6. But for me, because of that reason, it is a 6 on my list.
Number 5.
All right, number 5 on my list is a survey app called QMe. Now this again is a traditional survey format. You fill in the bubble, move on to the next question. One thing that really puts QMe apart from the other options on my list is the fact that there's no minimum in order to cash out your earnings, which I think is a really cool feature. And you can use that either towards charity, e-gift cards, or PayPal. So you have some options there, which is really cool. The app does have a 4.5 out of 5-star rating on the Apple App Store. A couple pros. The number quantity of surveys is really cool. I love how no matter the time of day, you can find a survey to take, similar to Surveymonkey. And another pro, again, like I mentioned, is that no minimum to be able to cash out your earnings, which is really awesome. Some cons, though, which are pretty big, is the lack of payment for the amount of time that you spend. Similar to Surveymonkey, 20 minutes for 65 cents. I don't know. I feel like my time is worth more than that. I have a hard time swallowing that. Another thing I don't like about QMe is the fact that the surveys themselves are oftentimes held on a third-party site, so they'll direct you to that site, and it's not uncommon to get halfway through a survey for it to freeze up, and you have to ultimately exit because there's no way out of this screen of death, I would say. And of course, QMe is not going to pay you for that, even if you spent 10 or 15 minutes on a survey. And so for that reason, I have a really hard time starting a survey, especially a longer one with QMe, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish and actually make the 65 cents that they're promising me. And another thing that's annoying is, I believe, if I recall, you can be partway through a survey and they can deem that you're not the demographic they're looking for, and they can also kick you out. So for those reasons, there is just absolutely no way I can put QMe any higher than 5 on my list.
Number 4.
All right, number 4 on my list is Surveymonkey Rewards. Now again, this is a traditional survey format. Cool thing about it, it usually doesn't take more than 2 to 5 minutes to complete a survey. And when you're getting paid 25 cents or 50 cents, that's a pretty good ratio. I can swallow that. You do have to have $5 banked up in order to cash out, and you can select either Amazon or charity to be able to use your money towards. The app has a 4.7 out of 5 star rating on the Apple App Store. Couple pros. One, the app is really smooth to use. Unlike QMe, there's not going to be glitches, there's not going to be bugs, and you're not going to get kicked out. I really like that. And as I mentioned, it's a really good time to payout ratio. 2 minutes of my time, 25 cents, 50 cents. I like that. I'll take that. The main con is the lack of quantity of surveys. This seems to be kind of a trend. Either the payout's good and there's not that many surveys, or there's a lot of surveys and the payout's terrible. Unfortunately, Surveymonkey falls in that first camp. Similar to Google, if I were to connect it to my locations, I probably would get a lot more surveys, and if you go ahead and do that, you probably will like Surveymonkey a lot more. But for me, because I don't get that many opportunities in the app, I had to put it at number 4.
Number 3.
Number 3 on my list is Gauge Research. Now, this is a little bit change of pace. This is a video submission survey response. It's kind of a mouthful. In other words, rather than filling in bubbles, you provide a 1 to 2 minute video response, and that takes the place of filling in the bubbles. For the most part, there usually are a couple bubble questions before you get to the video, but the bulk of it is the video submission. But what I love about that is the fact that you can put a lot of information in a little bit of time. So rather than spending 20 minutes filling a bunch of bubbles, you can talk for 2 minutes, and they get the same information that they're looking for if they were to ask it in bubble form. The payout is also pretty good. They will send you $1 per completed video response, and they'll send that to you in the form of it's an Amazon redemption code for gift card, something like that. They'll send it to your email, and you get that right away. So I like that you get paid immediately. The app has a 4.1 out of 5 star rating on the app, which I feel like is a bit low. Some pros about it, as I mentioned, quick payout, good payout to time ratio, and I love the video response format. Con, there's just not very many video responses, opportunities. There's just not very many surveys, which is frustrating because I would use Gauge a lot more. Gauge Research, number 3 on my list.
Number 2.
Number 2 on my list is Surveys on the Go. Now, this is a traditional survey format. Again, back to the bubble question. Nice thing about it is it doesn't usually take too long to complete a survey. 3, 5, 7, 8 minutes. Payout's usually either 25 cents or maybe up to $3 if it's a longer survey. So the payout's pretty good. You do have to have $10 banked up in order to cash out. And let me see if I can remember. You have a couple options, or I should say more than a couple. You have a few options of where you can cash out your money. You have Amazon, you have a Visa gift card, you have Starbucks, and you have PayPal. Starbucks feels like it's out of left field to me. It's kind of weird. What I like about them is they will give you a little bit of extra money if you select Amazon as your choice. For instance, you can have $10 banked up, and all of them will provide you $10 gift cards or PayPal, but not Amazon. They'll give you 10, 20. So for me, I love Amazon, and I love extra 20 cents. So it always makes sense for me to select Amazon as the choice. The app has a 4.7 out of 5 star rating on the App Store, which I think is adequate. The main pro I absolutely love about Surveys on the Go is regardless if you qualify or not, it can be the very first question, and they can ask you, have you had bottled water in the last 7 days? And you say no, and of course they were looking for a yes. They will pay you 10 cents right off the bat. They'll kick you out, but they'll pay you 10 cents. And I love that. I love that they reward you even if you don't qualify. It's kind of like they're saying, hey, we appreciate the fact that you tried clicking on it, and hey, you're not who we're looking for, but we're going to give you 10 cents anyway. So because of that, it doesn't take that long to get to that $10 minimum. I mean, it takes a while if all you're getting is 10 cents. But having those as backup, that kind of helps boost you to your $10 minimum relatively quickly. So I like that. And then the time to payout ratio, as I mentioned, is pretty good. The main con, which is a continuing theme, is there's just not very many survey opportunities, which is frustrating. I wish there were more. But don't let that deter you. I love surveys on the go. I would highly recommend downloading them. I'm a really big fan. But they are not better than number one on my list, which we will get to right now.
Hip, hip, hooray. Number one.
All right, we finally made it. The best of the best. In my opinion, there is no better app for making a little bit of extra side money through surveys than this one. And its name is Vox Pop Me. Now, this is a video response format. You shouldn't be surprised about that. As I mentioned, I'm a really big fan of the video because it cuts so much time out of that whole process. The payout is good, either 50 cents or $1 typically. And what I love about it is that they cap you at a minute. Your video can only be a minute long. That is so cool. It's like they're telling you, we don't want you to waste time on this. Get it done with and get out of here. And they pay you pretty good. I love that. You do have to have $15 banked up in order to cash out, and PayPal is the only option. But you make the money so fast, the $15 really isn't a problem. The app has a 4.7 out of 5-star rating on the App Store. Pretty good. Pros, there's definitely a lot more than cons in my opinion. High time to payout ratio. I also love how you can be selected for some cool product reviews. Multiple times I've been sent product, I've provided my video responses, and then they've provided a $15 or $20 kicker on top of that. So it's like I'm getting paid to eat fruit snacks. That was literally something I did. I'm getting paid $30 for 20 minutes of my time. That's amazing. That's unheard of. I love Vox Pop Me for that reason. The only couple cons I can think of is one, there are some pre-qualifying questions that are asked before they provide you with the video response, and these are the fill in the bubble. And you can run into a lot of denials before you hit that successful one. I overlook this because I get paid so well when I eventually do get the video, but I wish that there weren't so many failures before you hit a success. And then the only other con I can think of is the fact that the quotas for surveys fill relatively quickly, and it's only gotten worse in the last 6 months. I think if people have been home and they've had access to their phone, it's not uncommon for me to film myself, push record, and they'll say, sorry, the quota's full. So by me telling you about this app, I'm only making it more difficult for myself, so I know I have to step up my game and make sure I'm even faster to my phone than I already am. But all in all, even with the cons, I cannot say enough good things about Vox Pop Me, and please, please, please go ahead and download it right now. Like literally pause the video, grab your phone, and download Vox Pop Me. All right, that'll do it with my list of favorite survey apps. If you feel like I completely missed the mark or I left off your favorite survey app, please go ahead and let me know in the comments. I will be posting videos on a regular basis, so please keep an eye out for those. But as far as this video goes, thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you next time.